have to leave.
Sometimes I just want to watch HGTV because that seems like the safest thing on right now.
You know what I mean? You know, and we should be able to do that because we're defining ourselves for ourselves. That's self-determination. And in motherhood, I think self-determination is so critical so you don't lose yourself in any kind of way. Right now, it's mainly, you know, this cyber world. Another thing I see of Black motherhood is this urge to, in that same vein, sort of a feeling like we have to do something. Also a feeling like we have to be. I just want to touch on this for a second. We have to be something or look like something other than what we are.
Speak on it.
You know what I mean? Especially seeing the pregnancy and postpartum related content that all of the cookies bring to my feed on everything. And, you know that there are real women who are sitting at home crying because they don't feel like they can achieve the physical ideal they see there. And they just got done having this C-section or whatever kind of birth, you know, are struggling through the beginning of motherhood and then having to deal with that on top of it all, you know?
Yes. That pressure to look like everyone, that race to that whole snapback culture and
it's unhealthy.
And I'm a very strong believer in allowing people to do what they need to do to feel good about themselves, right? We need to be able to walk tall. When we walk out of our houses, you don't know what you're running into outside. We don't know what it is that we're running into. We don't know. And so, and we know how Black women do. We step. We gonna come. Hair's gonna be laid. I told Sierra today I walked out without stuff because I was trying to be cute.
But you're cute. I am. You don't have the mic,
but you're cute. So we need that, but we have to be careful about: are we doing it because this is what makes us feel good and helps us show up in confidence and helps us walk that walk that we need to walk, right? For our children, for ourselves, or are we doing what we think other people are expecting us to do? And that's it's a really hard balance. It's a really hard line, right? To see.
Yeah, I think especially for a new mother, I see this a lot where there's familial pressure to, do things a certain way, either, with your birth choices or the way you choose to raise your child or things you choose not to do in raising your child. And there's this, you're torn because, the pressure is coming from people you love and trust. And these are the people who raised me and, they love me and they love the child and, all of that kind of pressure. And that's one of those things that I always tell my clients, like, you got to get your parenting confidence up and learn how to bucket. But it's something that we're up against with motherhood and, compounded with, again, the constant media cycle that affects us all in some kind of way. And you just want to make sure you're doing the right thing then. The world is crazy. I just want to make sure I'm making all the right choices and, doing it all right. And no one wants to mess up. But
we had that boundary conversation with my doula clients. We have a community. And last weekend we had a meetup. And that was one of the things that came up as a challenge that they're facing is how to set those boundaries. Yeah. You love your mom raised you and you feel good about, what she's doing, but what she's asking you or telling you to do with your baby or within your household is, it's a different value set from the family you're creating yourself, right? And so managing those boundaries. And that's the other thing that, when we're talking about preparation for pregnancy, we get caught up in the birth. We get caught up in, right? We get caught up in, those early postpartum when things are rough, right? And we're telling people what they need to have and what they need to do. Right. But we have to also remember that there is a huge transition happening and relationships shift. Yeah. And it is a hard shift to navigate if you don't have those tools and if there's not someone on your side preparing you for what that shift looks like. And so going back to the mental health piece, I think one of the things that came out during the pandemic, or that has been very good for our community, is seeing the licensed counselors and therapists that are offering their services at low charge, and I mean very low charge.
Or even free. I've seen some. Taraji Henson's program was offering free services.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. But we have so many local therapists, and I can think of two. I don't know if we're allowed to like say, shout people out. There's Obsidian Counseling here in Texas. And the beautiful thing about it is that you can be in one city and they can be in another city, but because it's, throughout the state, they're licensed throughout the state, so we can help in that way. We can help or they can help us virtually. There's another one here local, Masterpiece Wellness. They've been offering very affordable counseling services virtually. Yeah. And so I just encourage you all to tap into those resources. Yeah. They're all over Instagram. So, when you're scrolling, stop scrolling the news, scroll for the help.
Right. And look for that. Exactly. And you know what? Like, click a hashtag. If you click on one of those hashtags, then all of a sudden a bunch of stuff that's related to it will keep popping up. That's how it works with the negative stuff. You accidentally click on some foolishness and all of a sudden you're inundated with it. You know? To switch gears slightly, but sort of not. Foolishness, being inundated with the news of one of these fools who was responsible for the murder of Breonna Taylor has gotten a book deal.
I don't know. I saw that and then I just had to turn away. Like I literally just put my phone down and walked away from it. And I wonder how much more do they think we can take. And here's the thing, we know who we are as Black women. We know who we've been throughout history, right? So can we endure it? Will we endure it? Yes, we will. Will we rise above it? Absolutely, we will. It's, someday, one day, will we see victory? Absolutely, we will. Yeah. But right now, this is a lot.
It's a lot. I feel like it's when, you take off the bulletproof vest and you realize they may not have penetrated all the way, but there's some indentations, and what are those indentations going to do in the long run? We have a history of internalizing trauma and carrying it with us. We pass it from generation to generation. And, this time, if we're not mindful of our mental health,
yes,
we will continue to do that. And your mental health is your physical health, okay?
Yeah.
To my pregnant moms, the way you feel will affect what your body is able to do, and everything you feel, you're holding it in your body in some kind of way, pregnant or not. And we have to make sure we're going through cycles of release, which is why we're not going to leave this we're not going to just drop everything heavy on you without giving you any tools. We are going to touch on some ways that you can still seek peace, achieve peace, prioritize rest, prioritize yourself.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a break real quick, and when we come back, we're going to switch gears and get really current with it, and we're going to discuss Dante Wright and Oscar Toledo. I will say, if you've been listening with your children, there will be details shared and things that may not be appropriate for your children. So we'll take a break for a few minutes and you have some time to maybe get them into something else. But we're keeping it real on this very special edition of Homeschooling the Key of Life on All Real Radio. Stay tuned, stay with me. There's so much more to come. Man, motherhood, man. I feel like I need a tattoo, like a real gangster one too. That's motherhood. Because the things that the places your heart and mind go. You know what I mean? Hey, IG. Let me put in a tag here for allrealradio.com.